Yes, my friends, dangle for my amusement, for I am Tessellating Hexagons, back with another spicy serving of Spyro Year of the Dragon, or whatever else you could fit those initials to mean. Now, we could go and fight the boss and move on to the next homeworld, but we're not done in this homeworld yet. We need to investigate the windmill, and as you can see, we have 30 eggs at this point, so we can open... It's not even a windmill, as I said before, but the portal is open, so we can head into it, and what might be beyond it? Mushroom Speedway! Speedways make their return. If you didn't see this coming after having watched my previous Spyro Let's Play, I don't know what to tell you. But they work a little bit differently this time again. They just keep changing, don't they? Hello, Sparks. Now, I can't hear the music at the moment, but I have a story to tell that music. First of all, it would appear that we have two options here. There's a race, and there's a time attack. Time attack is what we know and love with speedways, and then a race is just straight up a race. So I'll let Sparks explain. Thank you, Sparks. Thank you for the tip, because having played the speedways of this game first, I wasn't spoilt so much as this game tells you the order to get the things in, and you can charge these. I normally flame them because they're easy to miss, is kind of the thing. So, previous games, well, the flight levels in the first game were very, very hands-off. The second game, slightly less so, but like the level design in this is supposed to be wholly implicit. You know, you're supposed to just sort of go around a route that feels natural, and you should get like 4 sets of 8 objects on your way around. And that is how this is designed. It's just they make sure that you know what the optimal, like, intended route is as well. Butterflies sound so sad when they die. Butterflies don't do that. I punched a fly in the face yesterday. I don't think it was that. Was it yesterday? Recently. Like, just there was this large fly just sort of buzzing around the living room, and I sort of swashed at it, and without expecting it, I punched it in the face, which was glorious. They call them pests for a reason. Also, I'm painfully aware that I said that there were 40 items in every speedway when I did the Spyro Patreon video, because for some reason I forgot that I had the 5 in there somewhere. I don't know why, but anyway, that's the main mission. And so we have all 400 gems, and of course we get an egg for our troubles. Standard speedway fare. By the way, I do like Sparks' voice acting, because you can tell where each word is in the dialogue, but also the insects were so happy with your performance, you brutalized 16 of them. Okay, I mean, spiders aren't insects, but you know, they're insect allies. Anyway. People have mixed feelings about the race missions in this. It's just speedways, but with rivals. We kind of had a side mission similar to this once or twice in the previous game. It's been a very long time since I've played these, so I don't actually... I think you can flame your opponents to get them to get out of the way, but I'm not sure what the hitbox is like, if that is even possible. And listening to the music, yeah, that's the thing I was going to mention. I'll come back to it. First of all, they were so proud of this race mode that they included it in Enter the Dragonfly as well, and just... no thanks. I don't like how the red dots look in Enter the Dragonfly. They look too 3D CGI. Whereas with this, there's these weird... Like, as a child, I thought you could collect them, and that I was collecting them as I flew around the course, but... In each speedway, there is one per homeworld, so we don't have any nonsense like last time, in the previous game, where we had 1 in the first homeworld, 1 in the last, and 2 in the middle. In this case, there are 4 speedways, 1 in each homeworld, and each one has a mission like this, and a mission like we just did, and each one has, like, hidden optimal routes, like, you know, there are speedrunning strats that you kind of need to employ in order to do well, or, well, that's not entirely true. The game has dynamic difficulty. So if you succeed at a whole bunch of levels in a row, then the AI in these races will be really hard and you'll have a really bad time, until you start losing, in which case they'll gradually soften up the more you fail. So hopefully it won't come to that with this, but you never know. You need to cut corners, you need to go speedily. You gotta go fast, as they say. Because I feel like I'm doing poorly, but there's not much else I can be doing. You know, you just keep going until you run into the butterflies and hope for the best. And naturally, I will show my first attempt and my successful attempt with these. And the thing I was going to say about the music is that... Oh, also, fairies will spawn over the goal line once it becomes the goal line and not just the end of lap 1. Like, see? How could I have done that? Ah, well, I'll just keep going until I do the thing. And I'll talk about the music when I'm done. See, that actually wasn't all that difficult. I managed to improve my time by a second each time, so I'm really not sure whether that was a dynamic difficulty, or just me, or both. But there is kind of an issue here. Wow, is that really all you have to say? I had a chance to hear the music during that section, and it turns out this might not be the greatest hits version of the game after all. I did hear this might be a thing, like supposedly the PlayStation Network store is actually the standard American version, which means this is actually glitchier than the one that I originally played. Now, you would have thought that we're done, because we've done both options on the list. We are not. We need to head back into Time Attack. Of course, as is standard fare, the time now counts up rather than down, and that's about it. But we don't need to worry about that. We actually need to do a little bit of exploration, and I believe that that's not really all that difficult. We just need to bumble around. I believe on top of one of these mushrooms, there is a thing. And we'll know it when we see it. But the music you're hearing right now is actually the theme of the 4th Speedway, because all 4 of the Speedways in this game are supposed to have unique music. But, well, in the non-greatest hits version of the game, whether NTSC or PAL, it plays the 4th Speedway's theme in all 4 Speedways, which is dumb, yeah, but that means that I just grew up thinking of this as the, just the Speedway theme, which... I mean, it works, but it's... Yeah, you will have heard when I did the whole speed-up montage just now that I played the music that's supposed to play in this Speedway, and I believe it is on the disc, it's just not programmed properly, and there are a lot of levels like that in this game. Anyway, we've found Hunter! What a surprise!
Whoa! A bunch of sheep and flying saucers just came out of nowhere and started blasting up the race course. Looks like I'll have to hop in my plane and teach them some manners.
You know, that plane that Hunter just has. And, yep, we have a bonus mission.
Look out, sheep! Here I come!
So, hold that X to go and circle to fire. We don't need to hold that X, but you know. Okay, I didn't realize what that was.
Whoa! A bunch of sheep and...
Wow, it doesn't even have fail text. Either that's an oversight of the non-greatest hits version, or that's just coding. But yeah, I didn't realize that was a weapon. Also, I was using square to fire, and I was wondering why it wasn't firing. But yeah, we have the sheep from Metropolis, or Metropolis Spires, if you prefer the name, the original name of that level. Now, get used to this mechanic. We're gonna be seeing a fair amount of it, but rather considerate. There isn't a time limit here. It's just don't drive into the bullets, which I could swear I clipped the edge of that one, but whatever. I'll give it one more sincere college go, and then after that, I will start montaging once again. I say montage, that usually just consists of me speeding up. But, you know, cutting to my successful attempt, whatever the case may be. In this instance, just try to cut up the UFOs at like 90-degree angles, and you'll just generally not run into the bullets unless you're really careless. And I am being careless because it's the Let's Play curse, that's fine, that's agreed upon standard fare. Luckily, there's no limit to the turbo you can use, there's no limit to the bullets, there's no time limit. It's a nice, not really relaxing, but you know, it's just to introduce us to the concept of Hunter has this long-standing rivalry with the sheep from Metropolis, and no one's entirely sure why. You know, cats and sheep. That classic rival pair. You sure you're not thinking of mice or dogs? Nope, we're definitely sheep. We are definitely sheep. Yes, that's commentary. But yeah, this is another staple of the Speedway levels, though. And luckily, you don't have to worry about crashing into stuff. You just, as long as it's not a sheep bullet, you're fine. Sheep bullet, what is this? Farm Danganronpa? So yes, in every Speedway level, there's a race mission, a standard mission, and a bonus thing that you have to look for and find, and I like that.
Woohoo! Check it out. The squad leader had abducted this egg.
As you do. And so, that's it. We've done all three. Also, Tater. That's like a contraction of potato. And he flies. So cute. Now we're done. That takes us back to the Sparks menu. Now, I am painfully aware. Sparks, we don't need to. We've beaten the whole level. Now, in non-greatest hits versions of the game, and I don't know if that's fixed in the version that I'm playing, somehow I doubt it. If you go into a Speedway level and leave without completing it, and then come back to it later, they will not give you the egg for beating whichever mission. And I know this because on my personal save file, back on the original PlayStation 1 back in the day, I didn't beat the... I found the second Speedway's race too difficult, and so I left it for later. And I went back and tried it again and won, and they didn't give me the egg. So you need to complete Speedways on your first visit. Also, next homeworld's Midday Gardens, so yeah, we have time, let's go there. So that is indeed a thing, and now we have story time. Yum.
Listen carefully, you stupid girl. I'm only going to ask you one more time. Why haven't you disposed of that infernal dragon?
I've tried to scare him off, Your Highness. But he's just not afraid of anything.
Not afraid? Not afraid? Why have I been training you all these years? Use some magic! Here's a spell book. Whip up a monster and eliminate him.
Kill him?
I don't care what you do, you useless brat, as long as you get rid of him.
Okay, let's see what we got here. This ought to do it. You, come here.
And that's our first boss. Yeah, I was alluding to the fact that we have a boss coming. You can't go between homeworlds without fighting a boss, and so here we easily are. I'm trying to be cool and failing miserably. This isn't Midday Gardens. Hello, Sheila.
When I heard the sorceress was planning to ambush you, I got here as fast as I could. No worries, though. This wussy green toad will be no match for the two of us.
How did you find out that we were going to be able... how easily? How public is this information, and yet we didn't hear it? So, I forget how this works, so just charge, and he bounce. It's been years. Pardon me not entirely remembering. Now, this is going to be a recurring theme as well. In every homeworld we get a new animal friend, and they will help us in the boss. Some more than others, granted, but still. It's more so than just, oh, here comes Elora throwing some sheep down the rabbit hole. Now, this is a rather easy first boss, he says, doing absolutely nothing to actually wound the guy. But still, we're here, and you can jump around, jump up, and get down. And I guess he is rather frog-like. Excuse you, we butted heads on equal terms, sir. Just need to sort of take a moment, calculate your movements, and just don't be slow. But I'm Let's Playing. It's not going to go smoothly. Now, be aware, once we finish this boss, we will have access to the next homeworld. And I don't intend to cover that in this episode. We will leave it and then, you know, we'll return... We'll return to the next homeworld in the next episode. That's a worthwhile sacrifice because, I mean, we're having a fantastic time here. We're doing well in terms of progress. The second boss, that's going to be a fun time if and when we get to it, but just don't even think about it, just don't worry. The first boss, nice and fine and doodly. Second boss, shush with that. Third boss, I barely remember. And fourth boss, have a piece of cheese. And that is a summary of the bosses of this game. So much less personality than in the second game, but more than in the first. Because this was a Rhinoc. This was a Rhinoc, and it was shapeshifted against his will. It helps if I jump. I will own that. Stop your sneezing. Have a Kleenex. Eat a turquoise, which is a type of fruit. And thank you, Sheila, for intervening. Now, the type of Rhinoc that this was... his name is Buzz, by the way. This is Buzz's dungeon, I believe. And the type of Rhinoc that he was prior to his transformation. I will own these mistakes. Like, usually I get all pissy, but, like, no. I will own that I'm making mistakes here. But this was a Rhinoc, a type of Rhinoc we will be seeing in the next homeworld. Not the homeworld itself, but in one's levels of the next homeworld. But for now, well, let's go to said next homeworld, because we just beated a boss. We just beated a boss. Grayson, where is your triad? Oh, it's perfect! Because... people won't understand why I'm freaking out about this. Basically, there's a book written by the lovely Tristan Blackwolf. He's a good friend of mine and an excellent author. And he wrote a trilogy of books called Grayson's Triad, and it involves a three-way romance, and it's adorable. So Rainbow and Grayson and meow. Anyway, Midday Garden, stupidly funky music, but we're gonna come back later. I'm not even sure if I'm going to show that. I think I'll black that out. And yes, that was Buzz's dungeon, as I just saw in the menu. I'm not sure if you did. I haven't made any editing decisions yet. But we are done with Sunrise Spring. So why am I going back there? And it is Sunrise Spring singular. Thank you, transition screen, for assuring me of that. So, first of all, I want to go and get some health, and I'll meet you back here. So, I said we were done here, and that's mostly true. But let's take a quick flip through the atlas, and... you know, we have everything, apart from... okay, we're not done in Molten Crater, and that wasn't really what I was referring to, but if we just flip through the atlas, which I don't know if I've shown in any proper capacity, and I'm going to blur that screen out because spoilers, but yeah, so with the exception of something in Molten Crater, we're done here. But we're kind of not, because you may have noticed... no, I'm going to blur that screen out as well. I don't want any future level spoilers. But this sign, now is later. Zoe is here. Hi.
Spyro, I found an egg, but only Sparks will be able to reach it. There's a small hole that leads to a crawdad farm. I can take him there if he's ready.
Yes, he is. So, we have Sparks levels. They were... well, I think this is when they're introduced. They also appear in Season of Ice, and they are absolute garbage in those. Now, do we get an introductory cutscene? We do!
Hello, Sparks! Maybe before you take on the nasty crawdads, I should give you some help. To start, let's practice shooting. Press the circle button to shoot these targets.
Basically, same controls as Spyro. Circle to attack, and X to charge. Square to charge, rather. Also, hold down one of the trigger buttons to strafe. Yeah. Square is charge, circle is fire, X doesn't do anything.
You can also move quickly by charging, like Spyro. To charge, hold down the square button. Use your charge to chase down this fast enemy.
Now, I feel like Sparks' charge doesn't actually do damage, and that's just a random exception, but that might not be true, I don't know. But largely he controls the same as Spyro.
Now for the hard part. Being a maneuverable dragonfly, you can also slide in any direction. To slide, hold down the L1 or R1 button, then move with the analog stick or directional button. Try sliding up and down to hit the targets in this room.
As a child, I thought maneuverable was like a cat. Like, I knew what the word meant, but I thought it also happened to be the name of like a type of dragonfly. Anyway, get used to this annoying-ass noise because... oh, also, I thought you could charge whilst strafing, and apparently not. Or whatever, the controls feel really natural anyway, and... can you die, please? Can you please die? These levels are hard. This at the moment is easy because it's a tutorial, but on the whole, not so much.
On your travels, you'll notice butterflies that give you health, just like in the dragon worlds. Not only that, but some butterflies will give you special powers, though only for a short time. Just eat any power-up butterfly, and then press the X button to use that power-up. Your power-up is shown in the top right of the screen.
That's what the X button's for. I knew there was something I was forgetting. In this case, we have a spread gun thing. Well, not spread, but like, it sort of woodles back and forth. So, This is all a tutorial for what's to come, mind you. And if you can conserve ammunition, so much the better, and then just get a refill. I believe each butterfly just stocks you back up to the maximum rather than adding a fixed number to you, so.
Looks like you're ready, Sparks. If you need any more help, just choose the help option from the pause menu.
Oh, my fourth wall. She kind of looks like a lobster from above. Okay, here are the actual Sparks levels. Once again, there's one per homeworld. You can only access it after beating the boss of that homeworld, which is questionable design to say the least. But it's not awful, it's a fun little extra thing, and different colour butterflies give you different abilities. That looks like a regular health butterfly because it is. That will just restore your health. And because these enemies are smaller and Sparks-sized, they can be taken on, like, when you... First of all, these... Okay, enemy spawners. Deal with those. Sparks' special power-ups that he uses in this level, he can't use in regular levels because, of course, everything's downsized to be, you know, Sparks-sized. So, you know, this... Just run right into those, why don't I? The green butterfly spread gun thing, or his ability to shoot at all for that matter, would be completely useless to Spyro because this is to defeat tiny enemies, and the enemies that Spyro faces are not tiny. We have keys, by the way, so be aware of that. And the other thing I was saying is, enemies do, like, Sparks can take a fair few hits in these levels. Like, he's not just a... That time, I meant to... I pressed the charge button, I meant to press the fire button. Once again, owning my mistakes. But, as you can see, he has more than 3 hit points because the enemies are smaller, is what I'm getting at here. So, as these levels start off... I swear to Christmas. These levels start off medium difficult, well, easy to medium. And there's no way to turn on the spot. Excuse you. Excuse you. Sparks' hitbox is a thing that requires some getting used to. These enemies will just continue to spawn until we can get rid of that spawner in the middle. And that purple one, I believe, is a smart bomb. Where is the green door? I probably just went right past it. It's on this side, isn't it? Took unnecessary damage. Ah! I did not mean to do either of those things. See, the controls do make perfect sense, and they do feel completely natural. Also, we now have invincibility for a short while. That's what the white butterflies do. Largely the same as in Season of Ice, but Season of Ice is just garbage. So, like, that's one game that I definitely... Like, even if I do find my way to Let's Playing the likes of Enter the Dragonfly on this channel, I will never just... I will not even touch Season of Ice, because that is a garbage game. Like, it's so badly designed. There are so many questionable design decisions in it, and it's just not a good time for anyone involved. Because I did Spyro Adventure. I would like to do Season of Flame, but I just cannot get it to work with my recording setup, and I've had this problem for years. There are certain levels in that game that just do not work with my recording setup. Like, it causes some sort of... I want to call it a stack overflow, but I might be wrong. There's a geometry loading error, anyway, that causes it to... Like, there are some levels where you will just randomly spawn in what they call a parallel universe, if you're familiar with the lingo of the speedrunning community. Like, if you've even heard of Pen and Cook, then you will know what parallel worlds are. Basically, identical collision geometry, but just without any visible level geometry. But, like, if you go off the right edge of a world, then you'll appear on the left edge of the world, of the level, and all the collision will be there, but none of the graphics. Well, that happens almost immediately upon entering some levels in Season of Flame, and I've not seen that glitch documented anywhere on the internet, and so I can't really fix it. I did not... Sparks, when did you turn around? I disapprove of your shenanigans. Also, like, playing this on the PlayStation 3, and before this Let's Play, I hadn't used my PS3 in ages, so naturally both my controllers were completely dead. And for some reason, the charge cable... Oh, hello, friend. Every Sparks level has a boss as well. The first one is a piece of piss, but then the later ones are not. Oh yeah, he does that too. I'll just stand here and spam then. I'll be fine. It's fine. I didn't die, so I'll take it. And we get an egg. You will give me an egg. Right, for some reason, my charge cable thing that charges up my controllers doesn't work anymore, but luckily it's a USB to mini USB, so I can just use the camera cable I use for my camera. And there we go, that's all 200 gems, that's 1 out of 1 eggs. We're done here. So clearly there is nothing else to be obtained from this mini level. I could swear these have a different The Adventure Continues title card, but maybe that's just the PAL version or the Greatest Hits version. I don't know, it's not in this version, evidently. But wait, there's more.
Nice work, Sparks. You've beaten the Crawdad King and found the lost egg. Not only that, but some of the dragon magic seems to have rubbed off on you. Now you can pick up gems when they're even further away from Spyro.
That's it. This is how you level up Sparks, in a manner of speaking. Beat each one of the 4 Sparks levels and you get a bonus Sparks ability. And also this is my first experience of when I was a child, this game was my first experience of the phrase rubbed off on in that sense. Anyway, I've been able to continue to be tessellating hexagons. Now we're done in Sunrise Spring for real, apart from the stuff in Molten Crater. And in the next episode, we'll head to Midday Gardens and see what the next homeworld has to offer for us with its funky-ass music. I hope you can join me then for that. Fwoo!